The natural world can be a difficult place. There's tons of competition for resources, and often the climates can become rather hostile, so life can be rather difficult for animals. But in order to beat the odds and survive, some animals have adapted in some pretty interesting and unusual ways. Here are 7 animals that have adapted in some crazy ways in order to survive in their habitats. Number 1. Wood frogs have the ability to freeze their bodies. So to survive winter, up to 60% of the Alaskan wood frog's bodies freeze completely solid. They also stop breathing, and their heart stops beating. This allows them to survive temperatures as low as minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and in spring they thaw out and quote-unquote come back to life. So in order to achieve this semi-frozen state, the creatures build up high concentrations of glucose, up to 10 times the normal amount, in their organs and tissues, and this sugar solutes act as chiroprotectants, which pretty much prevents their cells from shrinking or dying over the winter. Number 2. Kangaroo rats can survive in the desert without ever drinking water. Instead, they get all of the moisture they need from the seeds that they eat. These teeny little creatures have also adapted incredible hearing, and despite being just a few inches long, they have the ability to jump up to 9 feet high, which helps them avoid predators. For example, if a snake tries to get them, they can pop right up and try to escape. Number 3. Antarctic fish have antifreeze proteins in their blood. So 5 families of some fish make their own antifreeze proteins to survive in the frigid southern ocean encircling Antarctica. The proteins bind to ice crystals in their blood, preventing the fish from freezing. This adaptation that is so extraordinary that it helps explain why these fish make up 90% of the fish biomass in the region. The next one is African bullfrogs, which create mucus homes to survive the dry season. Now, what does that mean? The African bullfrog lives in the savanna of Africa, where it gets very hot and dry. And when a frog is out of the water, mucus on its skin helps it breathe by dissolving oxygen from the air. So, in order to prevent its skin from drying out in the hot African climate, the African bullfrog buries itself 6 to 8 inches underground. It then creates a mucus membrane which hardens into a cocoon. The frog can stay in this cocoon for up to 7 years while it waits for rain. When rain does finally arrive, the moisture softens the mucus sac, waking the frog and signaling the start of the rainy season, the time when the frog breeds and when it is most active. Our next one is Cuttlefish, and they have the capacity to blend into their surroundings. So they have an amazing ability on their skin to change color and texture, so that way they can blend in with their surroundings. They can detect how much light is being absorbed in the environment, and then use that information to mimic it with their own pigments. They have 3 skin layers, which is yellow, red, and brown, which can be stretched in different ways to make unique colors and patterns. Their skin also has some other things which allow the cuttlefish to appear rigid like coral. Together, all of these features allow cuttlefish to escape predators, as well as sneak up on unsuspecting prey. Our next one is tubeworms, and they have the fascinating capacity to turn toxic water into food. So, scientists long thought that life couldn't exist at hydrothermal vents deep in the ocean, but in 1977 they were proven wrong. They found giant tubeworms living along the Galapagos Rift, which is 8,000 feet below the ocean's surface. These tubeworms are surrounded by total darkness in their habitat, and they live in water filled with toxic gas and acid. These creatures have no stomach, gut, or eyes. Instead, they are essentially bags of bacteria with heart-like structures and reproductive organs. The bacteria inside these worms use the toxic hydrogen sulfide in the water, which would kill most other animals, as an energy source to produce carbohydrates. Another fascinating adaptation is the Okapi, which have developed scent glands on their feet. So, Okapi are strange animals that look like a combination of a giraffe and a zebra. They live in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where it's very hot and predators such as leopards are always lurking. To stay alive, Okapi have 3 key adaptations. First, they have scent glands on their feet to mark their territory. Second, they have infrasonic cells, which allows them to communicate with their calves without predators hearing their call. And finally, they have 14 to 18 inch long tongues, which can even be used to wash their eyes and ears. So, we hope you enjoyed this interesting bit of content right here. Going out in the wild is extremely difficult, and so creatures have adapted in all kinds of fascinating ways in order to survive. Now, with the increase of urbanization, animals have been finding fascinating ways to adapt to our urban environments, and in many cases they are straight up infesting our homes, whether it's wildlife animals such as raccoons and possums, or pests such as ants and insects. Whether you have a wildlife or pest related problem, if you think you have that problem, give us a call at 855-WILDLIFE or visit us at wildlifexteam.com and we will be sure to help you out, so that way we can get rid of those creatures and safely return them to the wild where they belong, and you can enjoy your home happily and healthily. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
They're out there looking for a home, and they found one. Yours. They want that cozy place in your attic or under your foundation. Give them enough time and you'll be paying big bucks to fix their damage. Wildlife X Team specializes in removal and prevention of wildlife infestation, responsibly and professionally. Wildlife X Team has earned the top-rated award from Home Advisors because they're experts at what they do. Just one call and they're gone. 855-WILDLIFE or wildlifexteam.com.